What's up, everyone? Kevin Allen here, aka the Geek from DFS Army, and this is your DraftKings NFL Week 18 first look breakdown, where we're going to take a look at the NFL Week 18 salaries, the pricing, the players, and of course, we're going to examine the team motivations. It's Week 18. There will be starters resting. There's going to be a lot of chaos, backups getting starts that you don't not normally used to. We're going to cover as much as we can here early in the week, and then of course later in the week when we get some coaches info, we will fill it all in and have us all ready for NFL Week 18 DFS action. Just a few weeks left. Last week, we got the playoffs going. I love playoff slates. So we got a lot of great DFS action going for the next month and a half or so. Stick around. We are not done yet with this season. All right, let's get into team motivations. And I put a little thread together on the Tweezy, on the X Twitter, where I kind of went into team motivations. And we'll just go through it real quick. The primary teams we need to be aware of course, are the teams that are super likely to rest starters. That's the Chiefs, Bills, Texans, and Eagles. They have nothing to play for. They're all locked into their spots. Can't even reseed. They are locked in. So these are the least motivated teams. Flip that out now to the most motivated teams. These are teams that actually must win to get into the playoffs or lock down a bye week or get home field advantage. They have a real motivation to win their games. And that's, of course, the Falcons, the Bengals. Bengals need to win. Falcons have a shot at getting in the playoffs with some help. The Lions are playing for the bye, as are the Vikings. Lions and Vikings going up against one another. Bucks win, and they're in. They're a major team this week. The Ravens can clinch home field advantage with a win. The Dolphins still have a chance to make the playoffs. Do they? Do they still have a chance at making the playoffs? So they're going all out to ball out. And then, of course, the Broncos also need to win to join the playoff action. So these are the most highly motivated teams. You got the Falcons, Bengals, Lions, Vikings, Bucks, Ravens, Dolphins, and Broncos. These are my favorite teams to target, especially ones like this that are going up against teams that don't have a need to win. Like, for example, the Broncos going up against the Chiefs, right? That seems like a spot that's going to work out nicely for the Broncos this week. So let's see how that goes, right? Continuing on. These are the sketchiest teams. They kind of might want to rest some players, right? They can change some seeding around, 6 seed, 5th seed, 7, 6, very minimal, doesn't really affect much. And they might still play because it's not technically meaningless, but at the same time, it is pretty meaningless. And, it would be pretty stupid for these coaches to risk players in a meaningless Week 18 game. That's the Chargers, Commanders, Packers, Steelers, and Rams. Now, with these teams, I think it's really critical to pay attention to team totals, right? If the team totals are high on the Vegas odds, there's a chance that at least right now, bettors think they will play their starters. Bettors can be wrong, though. So there's also some betting motivations here and things that we can do, understanding that these teams aren't motivated, and yet some of these spreads are really interesting. We'll see as we get to that part. Finally, just a brief note on teams that are outside of the race. The rest of the teams in the NFL, they're outside looking in, right? They're not making the playoffs. They have nothing to rest players for, per se. They also have nothing to play players for, per se, just like they didn't last week or the week before. They might have been eliminated. Most of these teams will just play the game out as normal. Sometimes they'll pull some veterans and throw some younger guys in there, especially late in the game, third, fourth quarter. Might want to see what you have with your RB3, the young guy, all that kind of thing. So these are be careful, proceed with caution types of teams. So with all that being said, let's jump into the Vegas lines for NFL Week 18, and we get a monster slate here. All the games are condensed onto the Sunday-only slate. Kind of fun. A lot of teams, a lot of players to choose from. I think there are very, very clear-cut studs that we want to target, and I think that as the week rolls on, value will continue to present itself in the form of teams that are playing backups, letting you know, oh, this guy's going to be our starting running back. So we'll get some of that value later in the week. All right, let's get started here. It's the Bills at the Patriots. It's a 38-point total. Bills have nothing to play for here. What backup running back will be in the game for most of it? Is there some interest there? Probably not. Gross one though. Patriots, yeah, sure, why not? They're going up against the team that's rolling out the backup, so whatevs. Jaguars at the Colts. These are both teams on the outside looking in. They should play out the game as normal. They probably want to get a win. The Colts We'll see what happens with the quarterback situation. If they play Richardson, Flacco's backo. I don't know. I think this could be a fun one. If Flacco started, I'm kind of interested in this game. Both sides of it, right? The Giants just showed that the Colts defense not that good, all right? We got some players on the Jaguars we've been targeting, and it's been fine, and they've been out of the playoffs the whole damn time. Texans at the Titans. Horrible game, low total. Texans, nothing to play for. They are locked into their spot. Titans are out of the playoffs, so yeah, kind of like the Titans pieces here a little bit. Texans won't have any care about that game. This one's interesting. The Bears at the Packers. Packers getting a 24.75 point team total. Are they thinking maybe the Packers they've been so off their game that they need to just get their starters out there one more time, try to get them clicking? I don't know. Packers really have very little to play for here. I think the Bears kind of stink though, so that spread is just interesting for me. But the game total super low. It's gross. I think the Packers will probably play their starters for a while in this one, just because it's the Bears and the fans are there. They're that kind of a team. So we'll see how that one goes down. But the odds makers do kind of think that they'll play starters for a bit. Giants at the Eagles. Again, Eagles, nothing to play for. Giants, long since out of it. We'll see how that one goes down. 38.5 point team total. Certainly not touching anything to do with the Eagles there. Commanders at the Cowboys. Again, Commanders are a team with nothing to play for, no real reason to go all out, to ball out. So we'll see how that one comes together. It's weird that they're favored by that much, but I'm not touching players from the Commanders, and I'm probably not doing more. Maybe Dallas. Why not? They have nothing to tank for. Doesn't help you. Bucks at home, taking on the Saints, 43.5 pointer. Bucks coming with a 28.5 point team total. I mean, this is Bucky Irving season. This is Bucks. Bucks are going to come out and smash here. They need the win. They've been styling all season long. So I think we're going to see more of the same. Baker, I love this team. Everything about it. Falcons at home against the Panthers. Falcons in a must-win situation. Look for the Falcons to go all out here. Bijan Robinson is my favorite play in this game. Panthers can't stop the run. It's like Bijan season right there. Dolphins at the Jets. Dolphins need to win to have a shot. The Jets want to spoil that. Interesting. Let's see if Tua plays this week. See what happens. The spread tells me they don't think Tua is going to play, but I don't know if I buy that. So it's early in the week. I would be betting the Dolphin side of that one as of right now. Jets are a mess. That's gross. But, we'll have to see how the week plays out. Who's going to quarterback for the Jets? Is Aaron Rodgers hurt? What's the story there? So that's going to be interesting. Broncos at home taking on the Chiefs. The Broncos need to win. The Chiefs are rolling out the backups. I mean, what more do you need to know? The only question is with the Broncos, like who are the studs, right? Like, it's kind of an interesting team. I think Mims is probably my favorite play from that game. Broncos, normally I'd be all over whoever the running back is, but they just use a lot of guys there. It's hard to nail one down. 49ers at the Cardinals. Neither team motivated here. Let's see. Yeah, both fully eliminated. Just nothing to play for. I think it's just going to be a normal game between these two teams. San Francisco going to rest starters? I don't think so. No, they have no reason to rest the starter. Just going to play it out. It's interesting that the Cardinals are favored as much as they are. Chargers at the Raiders. Chargers coming in as the favorites here, 23.75 points. The Chargers, basically, there is some motivation here, potentially. If the Steelers lose their game, they can kind of move up a few spots in the rankings here. So if the Steelers lose, and the Steelers are, let's go back to it here. There's a lot going on. If the Steelers lose their game, then the Chargers have a shot to jump them. I don't think it's going to be all that motivational. So for me, the Chargers are kind of on the list of somewhat demotivated teams. but there is a chance that they can move up in seeding, with the Steelers' loss. Let me just get the detail of that here. I want to understand it fully. So they're locked into either the 5th or the 6th seed. The Bengals are going to probably beat the Steelers, but let's say the Steelers win that game. They can move up to the 5th seed. I don't think that's motivating enough. Is that you get a better matchup. Basically, it might be motivating enough. So at the 5th seed, they would play the Texans. If they go and wind up the 6th seed, they would play the Ravens. And who the hell wants to play the Ravens, right? So I guess there is enough there, 5th seed versus 6th seed. And this is what the odds makers are telling us. There is enough there. But this will all come down to if the Steelers can win. If the Steelers lose, then they're locked into that spot. So I think the Steelers probably are going to lose that game. We don't know now, but if they do, Chargers will have nothing to play for. So I'm putting them in the nothing to play for category, but with an asterisk that if the Steelers did win, there's actually, I think, a reasonable motivation for them to win that game and try to get that 5th seed, which would give you the Texans rather than the Ravens. I mean, come on, right? This year you want to play the Texans over the Ravens. All right. Seahawks at the Rams. Rams clearly looking like a team that is going to rest their starting unit here, given that they're installed with a 16.75 point total. So, that's what's going on, right? And then finally, I must have loaded FanDuel here. We have that game. We'll save that for the FanDuel breakdown. Vikings at the Lions. That's a good one. All right, let's get into it. NFL Week 18. Let's go player by player and kind of talk through who some of our favorite spots are here. I have to constantly remind myself. So I have to keep referencing. There's a lot of referencing here that we're going to be jumping back and forth to do with these players. So just bear with me as we go through it. But Allen, no bueno. Daniels, no bueno. Jalen Hurts, not going to play. Right? These three, they're out for me. They have no motivation. I don't play players with no motivation or with specific motivation to rest. If you're from one of those teams, that's what I do on week 18. Now, you might hear, hey, we're going to start Daniels and we're going to play him out the whole game. Whatever. We'll listen to the coaches as the week goes on, but I'm going to assume they're lying. So I'm going to stick with players from teams that are heavily motivated. And it starts with Baker Mayfield. To me, he's the best quarterback to target this week. They are going to want to style on the Saints. It's an easy game. It's almost too easy for Tampa. Almost too easy. That's my primary concern, non-competitive. Right? Bo Nix, must win. Very playable here as well. Has not been, a quarterback that regularly puts up monster scores, more of a 20-pointer than a 30-point type of guy so far this season, but he's been good. So no worries there. Brock Purdy, nothing to play for. Nothing not to play for. No. Doubtful. Why is he? Oh, he's doubtful. Looks like, diagnosed with a contusion. Yeah, so this is going to be no go. That's what the issue is with the lines. Brock Purdy not going to play. So, can't look forward to anything that San Francisco is going to do at that point. Jordan Love, again, I don't expect Jordan Love to be motivated here to win this game. They really have very, very little to play for in this one, but they are installed with a very, very big team total. So keep it in mind, but Jordan Love's been crap anyway. There's not been much reason to play him in DFS, so I will continue to ignore him. Kyler Murray, same idea. Nothing to play for here, nothing to win for, nothing to lose for. No reason to rest him. I think he's going to play out the game and could do fine here. Probably not how I'm going to build my week, but Kyler Murray's fine. Stroud, nothing to play for. Absolutely avoid. Richardson. I'm curious to see if this guy's even going to play. They do want to get him in there. So, yeah, okay, Richardson. Nothing not to play for. Nope, whatever. They'll play him out. They want to get the kid more experience. So I guess Richardson will be somebody to keep in the mix. Herbert as well. I don't believe that the Chargers will be motivated. I kind of went through that, but if they are, fine. but whatevs. Let's see what's going on with Tua. He missed 17, hip issue. Could miss week 18? Oh, sketchy stuff right there. Bryce Young going up against a motivated Falcons team. Yeah, that's a pass for me as well. I don't understand how Bryce Young made his way up to 6K. This is fucking ridiculous. I don't even get it. Like, this guy's a Turk. Move him down. Yes, he's been competent a bit, but not 5,800. No. Drake May, also not really shown to be much of a gonna break the slate if you play him type of quarterback. He's priced up. I don't like it at all. Stafford, demotivated. Don't like that spot one bit. He's probably not going to play. So you want to lose money, do that. Caleb Williams, terrible. Just he stinks. Just so bad. Pops every once in a while. I don't know. I can't do it. Gino, no, not interested. Wentz, no. I'm not playing backup KC quarterbacks either. Kenny Pickett, no. Penix has been horrible. In terms of his fantasy production, horrible. I have no interest. But, the Falcons need to win, but I'm going with Bijan in that one. Joe Flacco. If Joe Flacco plays, I'm interested. So I'm interested in whoever's playing for the Colts. Whoever's playing for the Colts, I will have some interest in him. Joe Flacco, everybody was disappointed. Joe Flacco had a good game last week. Put up 21. By the way, it was a great play. 4,900. He worked out really well last week. For those of us who played him, you had to have the right pairing with Michael Pittman, but he had a great game. Nothing to complain. I hope he plays again. Give me one more Flacco week. I'll take it. Yeah. Mariota priced up because that's who they think will play here. Mac Jones, hasn't been a fantasy relevant person, but, fine. Jaguars team, okay. Cooper Rush had some okay games. Drew Lock, oh boy. Really? You know what? I played Drew Lock every week that he started, except for last week. I talked him up. I said, this kid's better than Daniel Jones. The Giants offense should function better with him in there. And it was embarrassing. He was terrible. And then all of a sudden, the week I finally gave up on it was the week he went off. I'm still sick over it. Disappointed in myself. Yeah, guys, that's about it here. Not much else to look at the QB position. So it's pretty much right now for me, Mayfield, Knicks. I really didn't, a Colts starter. That's about it. That's who I'm focused on. It's amazing on such a big slate how few relevant quarterbacks I think there are going to be here. But I don't know. As the week rolls on, we'll figure it out. But I'm starting up with Baker Mayfield at the helm here. Again, keeping Bo Nix in mind, keeping, Colts quarterback in mind. Man, we have a lot of work to do this week if we're going to find anyone else. All right, running backs for NFL Week 18. Let's dive into it. And at the very top, we got Saquon Barkley. His team is not motivated, but he has a record that he is chasing 100 more yards for Saquon, and he will break the all-time rushing record. I think it's lock button that they're going to try to get that for him. Not a lock button. I think it's very likely they will try to get that for him. The question is, even if they got Saquon 100 yards and a touchdown, that's just not enough to actually be worth playing at 8,600. That's the issue. So as much as I love Saquon and as much as I believe they will get him 100, maybe even 150 yards, I don't think that's enough. That's 15 points. You get a touchdown in there. That's 20, 21, 15, 17, 22, 23, whatever. He needs a 8, 16, 24, 32, a 39-point score at 8,600 to be relevant on this slate, well into the 30s. And I don't know that even a team, even if he breaks the record, I think eventually they'll sit him. Why would you get Barkley hurt? That would be absolutely crazy. So that would destroy the Eagles' chances. It would absolutely ruin them. I don't think they should do that. I don't think they will do it. Bijan Robinson, I already mentioned, love Bijan this week. As good of a spot as anything, must-win game. He's been great. The 30-pointers have not been there, and he is now priced up at a scary high level, 8,500, 18, 24, 32. And so 34 points is what's needed at this price. I think you can get there, but I do think it is a scary high number. A lot of these high-end running backs look really good. Jonathan Taylor, sure, absolutely, right? Gotten it done a couple weeks in a row now. Similar situation, another great matchup. Who would have thought that Jonathan Taylor, right, come on this strong at the end of the season? Good for him. Good for him. Now, Jonathan Taylor kind of wormed his way back up into, next year being a top 5 or 6, maybe 7 or 8 running back. I haven't gotten there yet, but he will be an exciting running back next year. Josh Jacobs, again, in this weird game where I don't really think the Packers have any need to win this, but yet they're being treated like they might. I don't know. Not touching it. Up top here, it's Bijan, Taylor, and then, of course, Bucky, right? Those are the trio that I'd be interested in. So I'm going to plug in Bijan because I talked him up. I'm going to plug in Bucky because for some reason, Baker and Bucky kind of get it done together. So let's go that way, right? And then continue to talk these through. Mixon is a no. Absolutely not. Kamara, no. Absolutely not. Underdog running back, hell no. Veteran, no. Absolutely not, right? Achane, nope. Unless Tua plays, I'm not interested in Achane. So we have to see what happens there. The Dolphins are motivated, so there's that. And the Jets can't stop the run. There's that. But I need Tua in there, so I'm not going to touch him for now. Connor, no. Veteran, Q-tag, nothing to play for. Warning signs everywhere. James Cook, absolutely not. Zach Charbonnet, maybe. I actually am going to be wildly interested in Sharps here because Seattle has nothing not to play for. And the Rams do have reason to rest their starters. So we're going to get Sharps against the backups for the Rams. That's fine by me. Fine by me. Breece Hall, I don't think I can go there. Dobbins, again, nothing to play for. These two guys, no, nothing. Can't differentiate. Q tags everywhere. Hate it. Robinson Jr., no. Garendo, maybe. Right? Why maybe? Because, yes, while the 49ers have nothing to play for, neither do the Cardinals. Neither team has anything to rest for. So, yeah, I think Garendo's not some veteran you're going to rest. He's exactly who you'd want to play in the last week of the season if you're the 49ers. So, to me, Garendo, very playable. I don't know if the 49ers offense will be any good with, backup quarterback in there. So that's the concern. Dowdle in here against the Commander backups. Yeah, okay. That's fine by me as well. I'd like a favored running back, but I can deal with this. Same with Tracy against the backups from the Eagles. Sure. All right. Do the Rams roll out Blake Corum finally in this game? See what he can do? Maybe. Anybody else with some motivation? Let's see what. You know what? They gave Etienne some work last week finally. Like is Ray Davis going to be this, like, who the Bills roll out for this game and just lean heavily on? I could see Ray Davis coming in, getting all the work and smashing a crapola Dolphins team. Yeah, that could work out. So if you like the risk plays, the dice rolls, I think Ray Davis is one of them. We'll get a good price on him. If Trey Benson didn't have this Q tag, you would think that the Cardinals would want to kind of see what they had going on with him. Oh, no, he's gone. Injured reserve. He will not play. Good to know. He's gone. Not to worry about him. Amir Abdullah has been really good for the Raiders, and I don't see why they wouldn't roll him out for this one. So actually, this is a guy that I don't mind here as the third guy. Raiders have nothing to lose for. Chargers, nothing to win for. Abdullah has been that guy for them the last few weeks. He's been getting it done. They give him more and more work. At this point, they gave him 20 carries, 4 targets last week. Compare that to Madison, who also got some work, but not as much. And 10 and 3. So, and 3 targets, 10 carries. So it's clearly Amir Abdullah's backfield. I like it. I'm good with it. Let's see if there's anyone else here. It's going to be hard to figure out who might be what. I actually think Tyler Algier might be playable as a backup running back as well this week in this particular matchup. Like, this might be the time. They're not using him as much late in the season, last few weeks, but the time when they're in a blowout and they're probably going to blow out the Panthers big time. You could see some Algerian. We could see the Algerian in there terrorizing the Panthers. Backup quarterback for the backup running back. So DraftKings preemptively jacked up the backup for the Packers, the third string or whatever. We'll see what happens there. Anyone else? Michael Carter for Arizona. Maybe if the other two guys are out. Yeah, maybe Michael Carter. So this guy is another name, Michael Carter. We're going to keep him in mind if James Conner is out, and we already know that Trey Benson is out. We might get a full game of 4,800 Michael Carter, and that is something, 4,700 Michael Carter. That is something we want to pay attention to as well. So, yeah, Chuba, who's the backup? I forgot here on the Panthers as well. Against Atlanta, Chuba goes out, and I can't even remember who was backing him up. Let's see here. Panthers from last week. Oh, yeah, Blackshear and Boone. I wonder what happened there. 2 carries for Boone. It was Blackshear that got the role, but it didn't exactly lead to glory. So I'm going to avoid this stink situation. What a turd situation that is. Ugh, gross. All right. Moving on. We're building our first look lineup here. We've got a couple stud running backs in there. We've got a backup running back, Amir Abdullah, and we have one more backup running back that we've identified with some potential to pop here at 4,700 in Michael Carter. Let's jump over to team defense for a second, and let's see if there's any sort of values or anything that we might be able to. I think it's too early. It might even be too early in the week to really figure this out. But, we're not playing the Saints. We're not playing the Bears, probably. They're playing. The Packers will at least have the starters in there for somewhat of the time. Same thing here with the Raiders. They're just bad. Carolina, definitely not. Giants against, Eagles backups. I think the Eagles backups will wreck the Giants. So I don't know if I like that. Washington backups against Dallas, maybe. I'd rather go for a defense on a team that's motivated. So, Patriots against the straight backup team for the Bills, playable. Jets against the backups for Miami. If Tua doesn't play, absolutely playable. Cardinals, another one. Cardinals against sort of, I don't like these non-motivated teams, but any one of these defenses kind of fine, right? Cardinals against like maybe the no Brock Purdy 49ers. Okay. Yeah, Seahawks. I think the Seahawks might be the best of them. The Rams backups, not great. Denver here at 3K, playable at home against the backup squad for KC. I think that's fine. Let's see what else we have. Titans against the Houston backups, probably also fine. And again, I'm saying the word backups. I am not sure that these teams are going to bench their starters the whole game, take them out halfway through. We're going to find that out as the week goes on. So I'm doing a little bit of assumptions here. So, keep in mind, if you're watching this later in the week, we might know different. But for the most part, I'm going to assume that coaches are lying and that if there's no reason for them to play, unless it's like Dan Campbell or one of those old school coaches who have proven, no, I'm going to play my starters no matter what, or old school football guy, I'm going to assume that they're in danger of not playing their starters. Let's put it that way. Colts against the Jaguars, no. Eagles against the Giants, backups. Packer playable against Chicago, even the backup team, right? So not a whole lot of reason to pay up here. As a matter of fact, you might want to play the Bucks there. So defense going to be interesting. We'll navigate that and figure it out as the week rolls on. I'm going to roll with the Broncos here against what I know are going to be backups for KC. They've already said it. And they've done it in the past. All right, wide receiver group. And again, remember motivations. Puka is a no. Mike Evans, sure. With Baker, why not? Right? Good play at 8K. Not going to be able to afford it. Can't do that. But certainly would be a good play. Can't do it in this build that we're trying to put together here. And mostly, again, this is an exercise for going through these players and just eliminating ones we know we're not going to be interested in. Right? Nico Collins, no. Brown, no. Brian Thomas Jr., yes. Right? Jacksonville, nothing to lose for. They got a great matchup against the Colts. Love Brian Thomas. Love what he's done to end the season. So here's another one. by the way, on the last week of the season, we could talk about this stuff. Like Brian Thomas Jr., this is now, he's going to be in the conversation for, I don't know, one of the top 6, maybe top 10 wide receiver, but maybe even top 6 or 7 for next year. Are we taking Brian Thomas Jr. in round 1, towards the end of round 1, or, top of round 2 in drafts next year? Gonna have to see, but I think so, man. He's been great. Look at this. Look at this average fantasy points, 17.2. Just on a string of double-digit targets every single week, ever since, really, I hate to say it, but he got better when Trevor Lawrence went down. I guess he'll burn your food like Florence. He might run up in your crib like his name was Search Warrants. But one thing Trevor Lawrence is not doing, apparently, is making his wide receivers better. So hopefully he will come back and be a better player on a new team with different coaching staff. And, hopefully he doesn't suck. I don't know. I'm not convinced on Trevor. Malik Neighbors had a great game last week. Out of nowhere, 40 points, only 8 targets. Can do it again. Devontae Adams, I guess so. I don't know. Is Aaron Rodgers even playing? Let me go back to this Jets situation. Like, what happened with Rodgers last week? Is he hurt? Is he going to come back? They've benched him. Is he even going to play? He will start. Okay. Little to play for. They are going to start him. Starters suit up for the finale, and the Jets will be motivated. Will try to kind of ruin the Dolphins' motivations here. Last game ever for Aaron Rodgers, probably, maybe. So, I don't know. Where were we? Back to it. Oh, yeah, wide receivers. We're going to have to go cheap in order to, really, I can't actually make this lineup because the starting points here are way too pricey. Actually, let's go down to tight end first. Let's try to get a cheap tight end in there to make this lineup start to maybe make a little bit of sense. But, Brock Bowers, again, perfectly good. Love him, 6,600. He's been great this year. Had a great season, so I don't see why that doesn't continue. McBride, meh. Kittle, yeah, all right. Not with the backups in there. Again, Jonnu Smith. Let's see who the quarterback is before we get excited about Jonnu Smith here. We're not going to be paying up. Kelsey, no. Hunter Henry, yes, right? I'm interested in him in this game. Coming off the 0, he tends to do that. Like, he'll disappoint you every once in a while. But, again, against the Buffalo backups, I think Henry will be involved, so why not? Cade Otton, is he coming back this week? Ruled out for some. He's been out, so can't trust him. Now, Stoddard, no. Kincaid, no. Pitts, no. Really, Pitts, did he have a good, it's always terrible. Ferguson, what a disappointment he was. Got some targets, didn't do much with it last week. Just a horrible game for Dallas. You can go back to Ferguson, I think, here. No to Schultz. Okonkwo has been really good as well of late, getting plenty of targets. So he's in the mix for me. Again, they don't have any reason not to win, so that's fine. Noah Gray will actually probably play a lot of this KC game, but, I'm not interested in that. No Kraft, no Fant, no Brenton Strange. Not really somebody I'm going to be excited for either. Hoops, fine, but nothing special. I think we go here with, Payne Durham. Actually really didn't turn out. There was a second, Culp or Durham here with Mayfield. If we're trying to save some salary, love to see. We'll get in there later, but I think I'm going to plug this in for now and just pair that up with Baker. Need to kind of get that average per player down a little bit. So we might mess with that later on, but let's go with back to Durham in a stack with Baker Mayfield. Now, again, back to the player pool. At wide receiver. So, Devontae Adams, maybe. Ladd McConkey, again, no motivation here. I'm not touching that. McLaurin, no motivation, not into it. Tyreek Hill, let's see what he's been up to. Yeah, he had a good week with Snoop Huntley last week, but again, I don't really trust it with the backup quarterback from Miami. So I'm going to be out on that one. Drake London, on the other hand, Atlanta is going all out to ball out. They need to win. London coming off 13, all those targets. I like Drake London. I would definitely be looking to plug him into lineups this week if I can. Sutton, again, highly motivated. Rarely gets you enough, though, to pay off the salary. But Sutton is definitely somebody I want to have in my player pool. Kupp, no. Thielen, sure. Man, we had a good week with Thielen last week. Got really lucky on those 2 touchdowns. But that was one of my best plays last week. Adam Thielen had so much of him. Yeah, Keenan Allen, by the way, and the Chicago wide receivers, they're fine too. Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, okay. Yeah, no problems there. A little priced up from where they've been, but they continue to get targets. There's no reason, absolutely no reason for the Bears to rest anyone. They're going to play all their guys. So they're in the mix as well. DJ Moore also fine in the mix. These are coming off the worst game ever for Caleb. Maybe he'll play a little better this week. I don't know. Worthy, no. Jennings, probably not. Myers, man, he finally had a pretty good game last week, but even still, this guy chalk, it's the worst chalk. Just avoid it. Reed, no. Metcalf, no. Dobbs, no. Ridley, maybe. Josh Downs, maybe. Right? I think Josh Downs is in. I'll go right back to Josh Downs. I don't give a fuck. Right? I don't know who the quarterback is. I would go right back to him. I don't have any problem with that. Pittman, same deal, especially if Flacco's in there. I will have Flacco, Pittman down, stacked up. I like that combination if they start, but it's a little too early in the week. I just don't know. Second play in this lineup, though, is going to be Jalen McMillan. We need a double stack for Mayfield. McMillan has been that guy. Had another really good week last week. It's not like 10 targets, but it's enough, and he's very involved, so I don't mind the spot here. The price is a little high for me. But, beggars can't be choosers in the final week of the season. No Quentin Johnston, not interested. A lot of these guys are just turds. Marvin Mims, though. I do like Mims. He's coming off that monster game. He's priced up a little bit, but, I don't mind it. Go right back. I'll chase that shit. Fucking chase it. Chase it. Wandale, playable here as well. Coming off of, 12 targets the week before, 6 targets last week. He's been good. So I can go to Wandale there as well if we want to kind of find a salary saver off someone. Obviously, I don't have enough salary to play this lineup. We're going to have to dump Broncos and go to a cheaper defense. Let's see if, though, I'm going to continue on through this wide receiver group and just see if anybody else is popping. I think Damari Douglas playable. Random Dallas wide receivers definitely playable here. Can play, let's go away from Mims. Let's see if we can actually get a guy in there. But Tolbert, touchdown last week. Nothing wrong with that. Coker I saw him had some big play, a couple of receptions, not much. Leggett, did he play? Yes, he played last week. Got a bunch of targets as well. I think that's fine. I don't mind the Carolina side. They're going to play their guys all the way throughout. Mechie, no. Veli, no. Yeah, there's nothing down here that I'm going to be super into playing, I don't think. Nope. So I'm going to pull Abdullah. Let's go with, to end out this lineup, I saw a couple of cheaper wide receivers that I think are certainly playable. And I think that's the way I would put a lineup together this week, either double tight end it, or if we're going to play these expensive wide receivers, we have to kind of find some. Actually, you know what? Let's do it this way. We've got McMillan in there. Let's go with Mims coming off that big game in a must-win spot. I'll take it, right? 5,400. We'll go with, we got Jalen McMillan in there. First look lineup. Let's go back to Pittman, assuming that Flacco will play. But if he doesn't, even with Richardson, I think Pittman's fine. Him or Downs, I would say, look good for this spot. And then to close out the lineup, no. I'm going to have to drop the defense down. Let's just go to some standard, inexpensive defense here against backups. That might happen. So I'm going to go down to, let's go down to the Cowboys defense here at home against maybe the backup squad for Washington. It's not clear that will definitely happen, but let's see what that opens up for us here in the flex. Adam Thielen, okay. B-Rob, no. JSN, no. It's going to be a balance this week. It really will. Getting to players, we have to skip so many of the possible names in building lineups this week that it will be actually challenging to math this stuff together with skipping over all these names consistently. Like, I can go with Garendo here. I don't mind it. I really don't. I can, if I want to get a running back in there, I just go Garendo, maybe Dowdle, DJ Moore, any one of these guys. So this last spot can really be a lot of different things. But there you have it. I kind of like this approach this week. Stick with teams that have motivation. So let's talk it through. All right, we got Baker Mayfield in there stacked with McMillan, Durham, and Bucky. Now, of course, I can get Mike Evans in there really easily, get rid of Bucky, and kind of switch things around. Very easy to do it. And we will do that in some of our Baker Mayfield lineups, but I just wanted to show that Bucky and Baker don't necessarily have to negatively correlate. They're both smashing together. We got Bijan Robinson in the smash spot of the year. Priced up, a little expensive, but in as good of a spot as he is ever going to be in. Again, some Algier vulture risk for Bijan. I'm not sure he has 36-point upside. So we got to pay attention to that and then maybe consider kind of going a different way if we have to. Again, really easy to swap him out, put in Mike Evans, and kind of go a different way with this lineup. Bucky Irving, smash spot. We got Marvin Mims, again, must-win game for Denver. It looks like Mims is kind of stepping up into that WR1 exciting deep ball role. He's done it a few times, and it's a little hopium for next year for me, for Mims Jr. and my shares of him in Dynasty anyway. And also the shares I will now be acquiring in Best Ball. McMillan stacked with Mayfield, easy, a little correlation there. Michael Pittman or Downs, either one here on the Colts side. Colts on the play for, but let's hope that this is much more interesting for me if Flacco plays. Durham, fine, just a crappy tight end here to pay down with. I think there are great tight end options if we're going to pay up a little bit further. So we'll try to kind of get to that as the week rolls on. But I think Durham is nicely correlated with his quarterback, and that's fine by me. You got a starting running back for the 49ers. They have every motivation to play him out the whole game against a mediocre Cardinals run defense with nothing to play for, so I like that. And finally, Cowboys defense, we have $300 we can spend. We can move it around if we want to. I don't really see much reason to. I don't know, maybe one of these other ones, right? So that's going to do it for the NFL Week 18. DraftKings First Look. Playoffs are around the corner. We are going to be breaking it all down. We ain't going anywhere. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everyone.
Big time. No, diamonds in my teeth. I got a lot of shine.